Hi everyone, my name is Lærke Dam Sørensen. I am 21 years old and I am currently studying psychology at the University of Stirling in Scotland. I've been involved with Gifted Institute pretty much since its start. So I've been coming to their camps. I've been helping out at others' camps, volunteering and teaching, and it's been great, and I've been loving it, But my journey with giftedness actually started years ago in middle school when I was sort of struggling. I wasn't fitting in too well. I didn't have as many friends, and I didn't understand it because I thought I was an awesome kid. I thought I was funny and sweet, but it wasn't quite working out. So my parents thought to change me to a different school. So I moved to a school called School, which is a school for gifted kids. And I pretty much showed up, and on the doorstep to my new classroom, I got a hug from a person I hadn't met yet. And that was so exciting because I think everyone sort of had an understanding that, we'd all experienced not belonging and being different. So there was this openness to new people and understanding that people can be different and you can still welcome them and offer friendship, which is what I received and experienced. And so that was awesome to sort of have that experience and see myself mirrored in other kids. I think that was the most important thing I took away from that school experience. They had different levels of learning, which was great. And they also had teachers who really understood, that kids are individual. They have individual differences. They may need different things. And that was great too. But I think being around other gifted children and feeling accepted, that was probably the biggest thing for me. So that gave me the confidence to pretty much go on to gymnasium, where I started the International Baccalaureate, which is the equivalent of a gymnasium in Denmark. And so after I finished that, I graduated in 2020. Interesting year, a lot of stuff happening, a pandemic, and I went on and started university here in Scotland. I had a lot of support, both from family and friends, but also from Gifted Institute, who made sure that, I was gonna thrive in a country abroad. So they've always been there to support me, which I really appreciate. And so yeah, I'm studying psychology now. I'm actually finishing up my dissertation, handed it in last Friday, which was super exciting. It's been a bit slow, which I didn't expect from university. And I think, that sometimes hits gifted people that, stuff still can be too easy. And then I got to dissertation and I was really pleasantly surprised that, you can go to what level that you want to go to. And so I've been really loving that. Another thing that's been awesome about my university experience here is that they offer a placement. So I've been actually able to do a placement with Gifted Institute, where, so over Christmas break, I came over and was in to see different world game tests and Raven test, as well as Vexler's intelligence test. And that was such a great experience. I was also able to do some background research on the use of all of these different tests for a future research proposal. So it's been great seeing sort of where Gifted Institute is headed in terms of research. So yeah, and I hope to actually continue learning about World Game Test once I come back to Denmark this summer, because that seems like it has a place in the future of screening gifted kids. I have also, during my time here in Scotland, actually been so lucky as to be able to teach for Gifted Institute. So I've been teaching at something called Busy Brains, and Busy Brains is for gifted children that are, and then they come in over a 16-week program where they once a week for 2 hours online, we learn about overexcitabilities and social emotional learning and one science. So they're split into age groups. So it's actually from a range of, I think the youngest we have is 6 years old and the oldest is 15. And so they're divided. So I have the 6 to 8 year olds and the 8 to 10 year olds in separate classes. And the overall point of Busy Brains is to give these kids some tools to help them on their way, because a lot of gifted kids struggle in terms of well-being compared to other kids their own age, because they are more asynchronous in their development and they can often struggle to make friends or they feel alone. And so giving them a space where they can see other kids like them and they can get some help to understand why they feel different and why, you know, they are the way they are. That's what we're trying to give them with Busy Brains. So to start, overexcitabilities is a way that we like to often describe gifted children with. So overexcitabilities is something that you can use to describe anyone, but we see them to a greater extent in gifted people. So there are 5 overexcitabilities. There's the emotional, sensory, imaginational, intellectual, and psychomotor. But to explain it simply, it's pretty much that a person feels more, they have a more rich imagination, they are more affected by their physical environment, they like to ask questions, they like to know more, and they have a greater need to move. And so all these things is something we see in kids, as well as adults who are gifted, and to quite a large extent. And at least in the younger classes, we like to talk about it as superpowers. So I think it describes it quite well, because a superpower is, again, it's a gift, but there's always a downside to it. So you may have a richer imagination, but at the same time, that also allows you to actually imagine worse things. And so a lot of these kids with an imaginational overexcitability or superpower are often quite anxious. And especially, you know, in the world we have now, where there's so much going on, that the kids hear about war and global warming, so they have a lot of underlying anxiety and they imagine the worst outcome a lot of the time. And so being able to talk about the OEs and the upsides and the downsides at the same time, as well as seeing other kids who experience the same thing and sharing tips. It's very cute to see like 6-year-olds sort of sharing, oh, I like to do this, and then they're like, oh, that's cool. And so they're kind of able to share knowledge in that way, while we're here to also support them. And so for the social emotional learning, we're essentially trying to give them tools to improve their social interactions and to understand others better. So first of all, we're trying to explain to them and teach them how, when you do something that affects another person, how can that affect another person, and trying to make them notice those things. At the same time as seeing sort of how do other people see you, and trying to understand their own emotions at the same time. And so that gives them some tools to actually create these connections with other people in a healthy way. Or at least that's what we're trying to do. And lastly, we have science, which we use both to sort of fuel their love for learning, but also to allow them to make metaphors about what they're learning. So for example, we use a volcano eruption actually to represent an emotional outbreak. So that's an example of how we use it. So that's Busy Brains, and I can only say I'm really impressed with the level of engagement I get from the kids. I mean, I have the 6 to 8-year-olds, and you know, after an hour and a half, they're still sitting, oh, I want to share, and that's really, really great to see. It definitely feels like something that's needed for the kids and for the, you know, parents as well. And so giving for us as teachers to be able to be around these awesome kids. But yeah, I'm so excited about what Gifted Institute is doing, teaching, research, and just hope to be a part of it in the future. I thank you for coming and listening to me, and I hope you have a wonderful conference. Have a great day. Bye.